From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharif Atai.
I'm Movin Hetiarachi and here are today's headlines. Activity of all grades in all schools in the country, including the Western Province, will commence tomorrow. The opposition leader is accused of misleading people through false propaganda. Construction of the Kurunegala Asadisi Shakya Sugata Mahasaya begins. Propaganda stating Katunayaka PCR laboratory will be handed over to private sector is emphasized to be false. Manufacturing of unmanned aerial vehicles of the Air Force commences again in the country.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. A look at local news first. Today is Medin Full Moon Poya Day, which has recorded several important events in the history of Buddha Sasana. Various religious programs had been organized island-wide in connection with the Poya Day. The history of Buddha Sasana states that the Buddha visited Kapilavastu kingdom of his father, King Suddhodana, for the first time on a Poya Day like today and preached Dhamma to him. Preaching of Sanda Kinduru Jatakaya, mentioning qualities of Princess Yashodhara and ordaining of Rahula and Nanda princesses, took place on a Medin full moon Poya Day. The history of the Buddha Sasana states that the Buddha displayed Yama Mahapelahara to Shakya clan on a Medin full moon Poya Day. The 208th sermon of Amadam Sisila Dhamma Sermon series, organized on each full moon Poya Day, took place this morning at the temple trees with the attendance of Mrs. Shiranti Rajapaksha. The Dhamma sermon was delivered by Chief Prelate of Mitirigala Nisarana Forest Hermitage, Venerable Udairia Gama Dhamma Jivatera. The Munisiripa Vandana Poya Day programs, organized annually by the national television, were telecast live for the 38th occasion. Many programs were telecast throughout the day from Sripada today. All religious programs have been organized under the guidance of Chief Prelate of Sripadasthana, Venerable Bengamue Sri Dhammadinatera. It included the annual Rupavahini Rose Flower Puja and the period chanting ceremony. The Youth Srila Samadhi program has been organized today, centered around the historic Seruvilla Mangala Raja Mahaviharaya. The program is held at all temples in the island on each full moon Poya Day to encourage the youth to take part in religious activities, including meditation and almsgiving. Minister Namal Rajapaksha and Commissioner General of Buddhist Affairs Sunanda Karya Peruma attended the program today. A tree planting program took place at the premises of Mangala Raja Mahaviharaya to coincide with the event.
Asadisi Shakya Sugata Mahasaya has been established at Kuragala Sacred Area. The foundation stone was laid today for the new stupa. The construction will take place while protecting the archaeological land. Kuragala Sacred Area is located near Balangoda in Sabaragamuwa province. It belongs to the 2nd century BC. It is believed that there were arhats staying at the place. Important information has been found on human habitat from Kuragala Sacred Area, which is located over 54 acres. Various groups have had damaged the historic and archaeological valuables in the area. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa took steps to remove illegal construction at Kuragala and preserve the area when he was Defence Secretary. The stupa, which will be built in Kuragala Sacred Area, is 100 feet in height. The Mahanayaka of Askari chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratna and the Mahanayaka of the Ramangcha Mahanaya Nikaya, Most Venerable Makluave Vimala Thera, and Anunayakas of all chapters ended the function to launch the construction. The construction of the new stupa will take place under the guidance of Chief Monk of Neligala Temple, Venerable Vatrukumure Dhammaratana Thera. Several public representatives expressed their views on the occasion. Sabaragamuwa Province Governor Tikiriko Bakaduwa, Minister C.B. Ratnayaka, State Minister Vidura Vikramanayaka, Diyavadan Nilame Pradeep Nilangadalla and group of people attended the function.
In the meantime, the grade 1 of all government and government-approved private schools and the grades that have not been opened so far in the island, including the Western Province, will commence tomorrow. Minister of Education Professor G.L. Piri said that schools have been instructed to follow health guidelines. Minister of Education Professor G.L. Piri said that approval of the health authorities was requested to open all grades of all schools without delay, and it was given. Therefore, all schools in the country will be open tomorrow under the health guidelines. It is possible to open preschools in the island tomorrow. If an area is isolated, schools only in that area will be kept closed during that period. 3 days were allocated during the last week to prepare schools as health protective measures for learning and teaching process. The Ministry of Education has pointed out it is important to engage in activities to improve mental health of students, and it is not suitable to direct them for examinations and competitions as soon as the schools are commenced. A guideline on maintaining personal distance and conducting classes has been sent to the schools. Accordingly, a class with 15 students has been held on each day of the week. Classes should be conducted once a week by dividing 2 teams when there are 16 to 30 students in a class. The Education Ministry is instructed to conduct classes in 3 groups if there are more than 30 students in a class. Police said that health regulations will be strictly imposed with the opening of schools. Academic and non-academic staff should report for duties as usual according to the relevant circular. Academic activities in the first term of schools in the entire island will end on the 9th of April, and they will open for the second term on the 19th of April.
The epidemiology unit says that a total of 894,053 have been vaccinated under the COVID-19 immunization program thus far. The vaccination program has been carried out for the 59th day today. A total of 9,889 persons were vaccinated today. A total of 88,623 COVID-19 recoveries have been recorded in the country. This is a percentage of 96.32. Another 2,825 patients are undergoing treatment at present. A total of 168 COVID-19 patients were detected in the country today. All of them have been reported from Paliagoda COVID cluster. 235 left the hospital today after recovering from the virus. Jaffna District Secretary Kanapati Pillai Maheshan said that all schools under the Jaffna Education Zone will be closed for 1 week from tomorrow. The decision has been taken after finding COVID-19 patients from the area. 600,000 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine manufactured in China are scheduled to reach Katunayake International Airport on 31st of this month.
Various news items are published stating that there is a conspiracy to hand over the PCR laboratory at Katunayake International Airport to the private sector. Subject Minister Prasanna Ranathanga issuing a statement says that all of them are fake news. He has pointed out that the laboratory had been proposed to be constructed at Katunayake Airport, not on government funds. He has said that the public will not be misled by such false propaganda, and the truth about people who level false accusations in organizations will be revealed in future.
Minister Bandula Gunavartana says that an opposition leader is trying to mislead the people by making irresponsible statements. The minister mentioned this responding to a statement made by Mr. Sajith Premadasa that the coconut oil with cancer-causing substance has been issued into the market. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that coconut oil with cancer-causing substances has been bought into the country. He said it has been issued to the market and Sinhala and Tamil New Year has to be celebrated, this time food contaminated with cancer-causing substances. Minister Bandaru Gunavartana said that the Consumer Affairs Authority has said all warehouses in the harbour and coconut oil reported have cancer-causing substances. An opposition leader in the country has responsibility towards it. The minister said that people will never be fed for toxins. However, if the opposition leader has informed, he should be representing them. The minister said that opposition leader can take legal action in this regard.
South Asia's biggest youth volunteer program named Volunteer SL Day launched yesterday. Marking the inauguration of the program, the Katharagama sacred city was cleaned under the participation of Minister Namal Rajapaksa. It was implemented to coincide with the 46th National Games. Members of the youth clubs, youth brigades and other youth organizations took part in the program. The program will be organized on each last Saturday of the month. Minister Namal Rajapaksa said that it will develop the society and contribute to create an active group of citizens and a society by building of the human resource. The volunteers will be felicitated when the program completes in a year. The minister said that measures have been taken to organize an international level program and to present awards.
The production of unmanned aerial vehicles in the country by the Air Force has achieved successful results. The project that stalled in 2017 has been reactivated at present. Sri Lanka Air Force rendered an immense service for the victory of the humanitarian operations against LTTE terrorism. Unmanned aerial vehicle squadrons such as the 111 and 112 performed a valuable service to observe terrorist activities live apart from launching airstrikes and observing their success. 4 crafts in the category of Blue Horizon and 2 of the search category manufactured in Israel made observations during the humanitarian operations up till 2009. Attention was paid local to produce an unmanned aerial vehicle after the humanitarian operation. The first craft, produced with basic technical knowledge, was presented to then Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the 19th May 2010. Air Force engineering and planners created a UX-1 after getting approval of the Defence Ministry in 2011 to produce unmanned aerial vehicles locally. A controlling unit with high technology was created in 2015. By that time, 2 crafts with flying capabilities of 5 kilometers had been produced under the UX category. Under the same category, however, by 2018, the production of the unmanned aerial vehicles became dysfunctional due to the low attention paid by then. After coming into power in 2019, the new government took steps to recommence the Research and Development Centre of the UAVs at Kalutara Katakurunda camp by recalling officers with experience who had left the Air Force. At present, research and production are taking place with the aim of maintaining UAVs as an industry. The new craft, named Lihinia Mark I, has an engine capability of 80 cubic meters. The fuel tank has a capacity of 15 litres. The Air Force says that a runway of 250 meters is sufficient to take the Lihinia Mark I craft with a weight of 52 kilograms. The training of pilots and technicians are underway for the process. Air Commodore Mohan Balasurya is in charge of the entire project. He has been trained in Israel when the country brought down unmanned aerial vehicles in 1996.
The Anuradhapura district inauguration program of the Mihindu Nivahana housing project, which is being built as an honour to the parents who offered their children to the Buddhist Sasana, commenced yesterday at Anuradhapura Sri Sambuddha Jayanti Raja Mahaviharaya. The project is jointly implemented by the Ministry of Buddhist Sasana and State Ministry of Rural Housing and Construction Industry Promotion on the instructions of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Launching the program, a foundation stone was laid for a new house which will be built at Saliyapura, Buddha Nagama area in Anuradhapura. It is being built on behalf of the parents of Venerable Buddha Nagama Asajitera. 2,000 houses will be built island-wide under the first phase of the program.
Depositing of the treasure items in the rectangular precincts of the Anuradhapura Sandaru Mahasaya took place today under the patronage of the Mahasangha and Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunavartana. Construction of the Sandaru Mahasaya commenced on the 11th of November 2010. The construction was launched on a concept of then President and present Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to mark the victory after ending the 3-decade of war. Present President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who was then Secretary of Defence, is leading the religious act, which is being done with the labour contribution of Army Forces and Civil Defence Forces members. The stupa, which has built in the memory of the war heroes who sacrificed their lives during the 30-year-old war, is 220 feet in height. It is second only to the historic Ruhan Valley Mahasaya. The largest stupa which is being built in the country after 1600 years is Sandaru Mahasaya, and it is the biggest such construction with modern technology. Anuradhapura is considered a centre of the 30-year-old war. Therefore, it was planned to construct the stupa in Anuradhapura. Various organisations, donors and devotees offered the treasure items to be deposited in the rectangular precincts. The Defence Secretary handed over the pinnacle to the Chief Prelate of the Attamasthanaya, Venerable Dr. Pallegama Srinivasa Thera during the ceremony near the stupa this morning. Venerable Srinivasa Thera handed over the treasure items to be deposited to the rectangular precincts to the Defence Secretary. A large group of people, including the Mahasangha, public representatives and members of the security forces, were present at the religious ceremony.
The 47th annual convocation of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka was held at the BMICH yesterday. The first meeting of the Bar Council for the term 2021-2022 and the 47th annual convocation of the Bar Association was presided by Chief Guest of the event, Chief Justice Janata Jayasuriya and Minister of Justice Ali Sabri. During the ceremony, President's Counsel Salia Pires was inducted as the 26th President of the Association, together with the Executive Committee for the year 2021-2022, Attorney General Dappula de Oliveira, President of the Court of Appeal Arjuna Obesekara and Acting Solicitor General Sanjay Rajaratnam.
Conferences of many affiliated organisations of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna are being held island-wide successfully. All those meetings have been organised according to health protective measures. Badulla District representative meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Transport Society was held at Uva Province Library Auditorium yesterday. It was held under the patronage of Minister Gamini Lokuge. State Minister Thenuka Vidanagamage and MP Sudarshana Denipitiya were also in attendance. The Galle District Summit of the Podujana Beauticians and Hairstylists Professionals Guild was held yesterday at Galle Chamber of Commerce Auditorium. Monoragala District Podujana Peramuna Trade Union Federation has organised a meeting yesterday at Sevanagala School Hall. Meeting of the Skagal District Farmers Federation of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held at Varakapula Town Hall.
Several commemorative programs have been organised in connection with the 49th commemoration of Philip Gunavartana, who was a pioneer leader of the left movement and a former minister. A group of family relatives, including Minister Dinesh Gunavartana, paid floral tributes to the statue of Philip Gunavartana at Kosgama, Boralugoda. Mr. Philip Gunavartana bid adieu to the nation on the 26th of March 1972. Another commemorative program in connection with the 49th commemoration of Philip Gunavartana took place yesterday at Sri Lanka Foundation Institute. A group of people, including the Mahasangha, Speaker Mahinda Abhivardhana, Ministers Dinesh Gunavartana and Bandula Gunavartana, were present on the occasion. Minister Prasanna Ranathanga says that propaganda stating that PCR laboratory at Katunayaka International Airport will be handed over to the private sector is baseless. The minister said that a letter with his signature published over social media about the incident is totally false. A PCR laboratory was established at the Katunayaka International Airport when it was closed during the recent past. Although the airport was closed, it was set up to conduct PCR tests on Sri Lankans who are arriving in the country from overseas. The Ministry of Health and various organizations gave equipment to the centre. Random PCR test samples were checked at the laboratory from the commencement. We move on to sports news now. The Army won the Defence Services Triathlon Championship held this morning near Chandrika Tank in Ambalipitia. The championship has been organised for the 11th time today. Nearly 60 sportsmen and women of the armed forces took part in the competitions. GACS Wickramarachchi of the Sri Lanka Army won the medal for the best sportsman. LKGK Dasanayaka of Sri Lanka Air Force was adjudged as the best sportswoman of the championship. Central Security Forces Commander Major General Ranjan Lamaheva attended the event as the chief guest.
That's it for tonight's English News Update. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Have a pleasant night.